Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable, and it is a great honor to have with us today Brad Paschal, who is the National Sales Director. Congratulations at Fixed Ops Digital. Brad, welcome back to the event.
Ted, thank you so much, man. I'm excited to be here. It's always a pleasure to be on the show, and excited to share some stuff this week.
Last time you were here, Brad, you ran away with the Best Practice Award. So congratulations on that. And I know this is a big time for Fixed Ops Digital because you've got a lot of big things happening right about now.
Yeah, right here around this time at NADA, you're going to see a lot of new products and stuff from us. So it's pretty exciting times.
Well, I know that what you've got to share with us today ties in perfectly with March Magic and our theme of the event. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step off to the side, Brad, and the show is all yours.
Awesome, man. Well, you can't say March Magic or that week without talking about John Gooden. I mean, he's the most accomplished coach ever. So what I really want to look at is some of the principles that he used for his basketball team. So the first thing is success is a peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction, knowing that you made the effort to become the best you're capable of becoming. This is kind of the basis for everything that he does, from his pyramid to his offense, to everything that he encompasses within his offense. And as you can see down here in the bottom right-hand corner, I'm a Texas Tech Red Raider, so you can tell who I'm rooting for in the NCAA tournament. So I want to talk about some key fundamentals of his offense. So spacing, penetration, passing, flexibility, timing, equal scoring opportunity, strong side, weak side balance, rebounding, and at the end of the day, the scoreboard, right? So these are things that John wouldn't focus on in his offense. And so what I did is I actually kind of correlated those to what you would do in your fixed ops department. So spacing can be equated to how close your competitors are to your dealership. Penetration, how do you do digitally in your search market as your search market share? And then passing is customer experience from your website or from Google My Business to your website to your service scheduler. How effectively do they pass through that system? Flexibility, different services that you offer to service your customer. Timing is not really timing. It's actually perceived transparency or transparency in your service department. Equal scoring opportunity is the communication and coverage to set each other up for success. Strong side, weak side balance is extensive training and champions in each area of the store. Rebounding balance is basically backing each other up. So there was he had a triangle of how you were supposed to back each other up when a shot didn't make it and how you back each other up. So we're going to go through these. I think there's some interesting things and some interesting concepts to really go through. So let's take this for example. If you see Happy Hyundai right there in the middle, and then you have a customer over here where the little green is, right? If you don't have information on your website about the service that this customer is shopping, and if it's not on your Google My Business listing, you can't, what's going to serve up to this customer is whoever is closest, whether it's an independent repair facility, whether it's another dealership. If you don't have all the information that customer is looking for, it's just going to go off of proximity. Now, you can overcome that distance between your dealership and that customer if you have your Google My Business set up the right way and you have content, good quality content, not content that this is just designated on there by the OEM that's a duplicate on 3,000 sites, but good quality content. Then you can overcome that proximity to that customer to gain that market share. So knowing where your other dealerships are, and particularly, we don't lose as much business to them as we do the independent repair facilities. So knowing where they are and having a strategy to go after those is super, super important, because it's kind of like a death of 1,000 cuts whenever you're looking at search volume. It's not this dealership that takes it all down here at Family Hyundai. It's all these independent repair facilities take 1%, 2%, 1%. So that's what we have to focus on. We should be the most relevant source of information in the area about the services that we offer. So let's look at penetration and passing, because it's pretty similar. So whenever you're looking at a Google My Business listing, you want to make sure you have a listing for parts, service, body shop. I've even seen some of them have Express, because there's 23 different categories for parts, service, and express that you can put in these Google My Business listings. Each one of these you can actually have up to 10 categories. Now you want to make sure that that profile section is completely filled out. You want to upload photos in every single section, and then you want to have posts on each service pages. Now, if you'll notice this little product section right here down at the bottom, normally you have to do that manually. There might be something coming out this week where it does it automatically. So you might want to come by and check us out at NADA, because we figured this out and nobody else in automotive has it right now. So little hint there to maybe come by the dealership to the booth at NADA this week. Now, when you look at the website, you have to have clear and transparent pricing. You have to list all of the main services, and the content pages are crucial, but they cannot be those duplicate ones that you get from the OEMs. So it has to be specific to your area, specific to your dealership, specific to what you do. Now, here's a really important part. We have to better the user experience by linking both, not just to the drop it on the service scheduler. So if you see here, it says appointments, and then it says product and services. It's okay to link to that service scheduler right there under appointments. It's not okay to have it in both places. Most of these Google My Business listings only go straight to the service center. That's like someone walking into a car dealership to buy a car, and me handing them finance papers right off the bat, because it's way too early in the process. They don't have enough information to make that decision yet. And so this is why we see only 28% of people who start a service scheduler finish it, because they don't have enough information, or it's really, really, really difficult to go through. So what we did at the dealership that I worked at is we had a dinner, and we invited 15 or 20 of our best customers, and we gave them different scenarios to run through the service scheduler so that we could identify bottlenecks and remove maybe op codes that don't belong there. And so then we're able to identify where the problems are, and we can remove those problems out of that service scheduler. So the more that you can get your customers input, because we're car people, we know how to run through those. We can kind of navigate through that thing. Most people can't. It's very difficult. And so that's why we see so many calls into the service department, is because that they're having trouble with these service schedulers. And so if you're able to have almost like a focus group, that will help you a ton with that user experience when you're going through that. So when we start to look at a couple of different things, right? So now we kind of figured out, hey, how do we get people through the website? How do we get people to the website? Well, what services should we offer? Well, forever people have said, hey, how should we sell a car? Well, anyway, they want us to sell a car, right? But we don't apply that same logic to the service side. So what ways should your customer be allowed to service your car? Well, any way that they want. Early bird drop off, late night pickup, mobile service trucks. I know Ed does a great job at making sure that he does the mobile service trucks. So if you want to follow him, we actually have a thing on our website that's completely free called Tactical Tip Tuesdays. He breaks it down on what to do on that. Customer pickup and delivery. And then one thing that I had a conversation with a guy this week that has nothing to do with the car business, but he said, man, I would pay $50 a month if I could just have a VIP subscription service where I don't even have to worry about it. They come pick my car up, they get everything done. I don't have to do anything about that at all. So listen to your customers and ask them which way that they want to be serviced. That's a really, really important thing to do, because every market's going to be a little bit different, right? So now timing is an interesting thing. So, and I'm going to show you what we're up against, right? So if you see this picture in the middle, no one gets really mad at a Jiffy Lube or Speedy or anything like that, because they have this window where they can watch their car get worked on. We don't have this window in 99% of dealerships where they can watch their car get worked on. So it's most of the problems are stemming from how long it takes to repair, because there's a lack of transparency. It's not that they're upset about the time, it's that they don't know what's going on, and that they don't have insight into that. So the way to eliminate that on a timing aspect is videos by technicians showing that the repairs that are needed, technicians actually coming out to help explain inspection reports if they decline the services, which is super important because it humanizes that technician that's working on that car. And then this is something that John Luciano does that's really interesting. So when they're doing those videos, or when you're introducing to the sales or the service department, whenever you're selling a car, they introduce them as your technician or your advisor, and so it personalizes that experience. And then I had a conversation with Mike Hanna over at TrueSpot this week. These guys are rolling out this week at NADA basically a Domino's pizza tracker for service, which is fantastic. And so part of my job as a fixed ups guy is to bring you something cool that no one else has. And so this guy at TrueSpot, they have a pizza tracker that kind of shows you how it's moving through the service department. And so I think that's really neat. And I think that would actually alleviate a lot of problems and help with customer service on that side of things. So equal scoring opportunity. So this is basically how you spread communication throughout the departments. So I want to talk about a couple things that are really interesting. So there's an app called Telegram where you can create different groups. So you can have all your service people, all your managers, all your salespeople, all your technicians. And so you have a communication group. So if someone has an emergency, they can put the information in there, and so the other person can back them up. One other thing that I've seen that's really interesting is if there's a declined services thing or someone's not going over that, they actually pull the sales guys over that has a better relationship sometimes with the individual customer that they sold the car to help sit in on the inspection as they're going over it. So if they feel like they don't have a really good report, that's something that I've seen that works really well. Of course, extensive note taking in the service scheduler is a must. And then one thing that John Luciano gave me this week is the finance managers, because car sales are slowing down, the finance managers are working the service drive to sell warranties out of the service drive. And so that's a huge one right now that he showed me that I think is going to work pretty well. So here's something else: strong side, weak side balance. So extensive training. These are the type of trainings that we did in the store that I came from that really helped. So we had internal champions or experts that lead training once a week in the department. So that way it's more like a regional training specific to your. So you have one guy that might be really good at working on used cars and he trains all of the technicians. You might have one service advisor that's really good at getting upsells and he trains all of the service advisors. And you might have another service advisor that's really good at customer service or customer satisfaction surveys. And so by making them champion and cross-train like that, you can always pick something up. The second one is really, really important. Every parts guy and every service advisor in the dealership I came from were trained on to do each other's jobs. And so it does two things. It eliminates that friction between the two departments because parts hate service, service hates parts. I mean, let's just be honest. That's what happens in a dealership. So if you cross-train them, it really helps with that friction, but it also helped during COVID a ton because you might have this guy out, this guy could jump in here, this guy could jump in here. So cross-training between departments is super, super, super critical, especially if we're dealing something like this with the pandemic. And then external training. So once a month, it could be a trainer. The warranty company would come in. They would train all of the sales guys, all of the finance people, and all of the service advisors at the same time. So everybody in the store can answer that question, whether it might be BG or other companies. And then learning management, Quantum 5 is on top of their game when it comes to that. And so by doing that, every department's backing everybody up. This only comes when your team knows each other. So you have to have events like ice cream socials. You have to pull your people and find out what charities are involved in so you each help with everybody's charity. And that's how you get that rebounding balance, so you're always backing each other up. And at the end of the day, you want to have a good company that has a scoreboard for you that'll help you get that stuff taken care of. So these are some of the reports that we set up for our dealers. We have X time reports so we can actually have scoreboards. In a 12-year span, John Wooden, UCLA won 10 national titles. The most important thing was being able to have that culture and that environment to where you could breed champions. And these are some foundational stuff to do that.
I love it, Brad. So strong, and of all the folks that you mentioned, and companies and processes, Fixed Ops Digital, really, you guys have it together, and you are on top of the game. And there's no one doing what you're doing as well as you're doing. If our audience has not spoken to you or Owen or Kevin yet, Brad, how do we reach out to you?
So you can reach out to me at brad@fixopsdigital.com, or you can go to our website, fixopsdigital.com, or you can shoot me a text, 806-548-2468.
Brad, great stuff as always. I love the basketball analogies. Wooden is a big favorite of mine and many of us here at the Roundtable. So great stuff, great material. And Brad Paschal, everybody from Fixed Ops Digital, here today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.